Change is something that a lot of people have a hard time dealing with. With the way that 2020 has been going, change is inevitable. One of the biggest industries in the world, the sports industry, has had to make numerous changes, and some are for the better and some are for the worse. The reason that this is inherent is because it not only impacts the athletes, it also impacts the people watching them and our children who look up to these athletes as role models in their lives. Now, a lot of the sources and the research I've done and the websites I'm going to use for today's speech come from Forbes magazine, The Washington Post, CNBC, and many, many more. The 3 points I want to go over is that one, sports is becoming a lot more political than it used to be. Two, COVID-19 has made many, many changes to sports. Not many that wanted to happen, but needed to happen for safety. And three, that esports is revolutionizing the sports world and is the future of sports. Moving on to my first point is that sports is becoming way too political. Forbes magazine stated that approximately 40% of people considered sports fans stopped watching the NBA this year, and 75% of that 40% said it was for political reasons. People don't want politics in their sports. They want to come home after a hard day's work and just watch a basketball game, watch a football game, and watch a baseball game. They're already berated with politics on social media, in the news, and in the newspaper, possibly at work from coworkers. They don't want to hear it in their own homes when they just want to unwind with a beer and watch a sports game. The saddest part is that this politicalness that's going on in the sports world isn't going to go away anytime soon. It's a giant snowball effect. It started with Colin Kaepernick, and now it's branched onto many different sports and millions of athletes taking the knee during the national anthem. This is something that started out as a small snowball at the top of the hill. It was just pushed down, and it's not going to stop. It's just going to keep getting bigger and bigger and bigger. Viewership decline isn't the only thing plaguing traditional sports, as COVID-19 is causing a lot of trouble for them. COVID-19 is causing a lot of problems and a lot of troubles that they're having to go through, extra hoops they're having to jump through. PM states that the bubble that the NBA put in is very much working in protecting their players and staff from coronavirus. The bubble pretty much is that all they did was put all of the teams and all of the players and all of the coaches in 3 Disneyland hotels. All they did was hold all of the games and had them live on Disney World. That is where they lived, that is where they slept, that is where they practiced. That is where they had to do everything for the amount of time that their team was in the playoffs. Once their team was out of the playoffs, they could go back home and be with their families again. And if they wanted to leave Disneyland to go do something else, they had to have a 10-day quarantine before they could do anything. This shows that the bubble effect works because no NBA player has tested positive for coronavirus yet. However, it's hard to implement in other sports as they still haven't played the regular season yet. Baseball and football players from San Francisco are still going to have to travel to New York and New Orleans and Miami and other cities in order to play. And this is causing a lot of those teams to have people catch coronavirus, which is causing those teams to have to all quarantine, not be able to play, which throws off scheduling, which throws off money. Millions and millions and millions of dollars is being wasted, all because one person on one team catches coronavirus. It's truly throwing a wrench in their plans, and it's not something that they wanted, but something they have to do anyway. While traditional sports is struggling with lack of viewership and COVID-19, esports is taking off and is revolutionizing sports and is becoming the future of sports as a whole. For those of you that don't know what esports is basically professional video gaming, and a lot more viewers are shifting from traditional sports to esports. CNBC states that more people watched the 2017 League of Legends World Championships than the 2017 Super Bowl. Approximately 97 million people watched the 2017 Super Bowl, while over 100 million watched the League of Legends World Championships. Not only are more people starting to watch esports, more companies and brands are starting to put their sponsorships in esports leagues and teams compared to traditional sports. Some big name brands being Nike, MasterCard, Honda, Red Bull, Monster. These are just some brands that are going. While some of the League of Legends North American scene implemented franchising, notable traditional sports teams have already started to buy in, including the Golden State Warriors and the Houston Rockets buying franchises in League of Legends. Esports is becoming the future of sports as a whole and is taking the sports world by storm. The three main points that I wanted to go over in today's speech is that one, sports is becoming a lot more political. Two, COVID-19 is making a lot of unwanted changes to sports that not many people agree with, but it's for the safety of the people involved that it be that way. And three, esports is becoming the future of sports and revolutionizing the sports world. A lot of these changes that are happening to the sports scene, some are for the better and some are for the worse, but a lot of them need to happen. Change is something that not a lot of us are easily deal with. And sports have been around for thousands and thousands of years, and they've been changing this entire time. But are these changes inherently better or are they inherently worse? That's for you to decide.